This is Isaiah chapter 29, verse 16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? I want to say, all praise Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Akakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and all the Achaim laboring in the work, pushing out the truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. We hasten for the return of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai and the establishment of righteousness on earth and the destruction of this wicked kingdom. All right, this lesson is pretty much inspired by some articles that came out a few days ago, maybe a week ago, and I saved them, and I wanted to, it's just crazy. Just look at the titles of them. So let's look at the titles, and then we're going to go back to the opening scripture. So this is one article. It says, women are happier without children, or a spouse, says happiness expert. So this is a happiness expert, I guess providing some type of evidence that women are more happy, without having a man or without having a spouse. This is another article. As a gender specialist, I've seen kids as young as 3 recognize they are trans. And this is the last article. Arizona mom slams Delta for lack of gender options for her non-binary child. And those articles just go to show you just how upside down this place is. America, Babylon the Great. And that's what Babylon means. It goes back to the Hebrew Babel, Babel, which means confusion. This is the city of confusion. This is the land of confusion. Everything that is natural, they tell you is wrong, and they try to make you believe that which is wrong is actually right. This is what Babylon the Great is, and they push this same type of thinking, this same thought process. They push this throughout the whole world to other countries. That's why you can clearly see people of other nations who have been what they call Americanized. You can see it by the way they dress. You can see it by the way they talk and the things they speak of. This is the wine, or this is, part of the wine that has made the world drunk. All these false, pseudoscience type philosophies and doctrines, and just the freedom to do whatever you want, different religions and different sexual options. Those are just a few, but when the Most High is speaking about wine that made the world drunk, this is part of it. So let's just, read these titles again. Look at that first verse. Then we're going to read some of these articles and get some scriptures on it. So again, this one is Arizona mom slams Delta for lack of gender options for her non-binary child. And really, you don't have to read the article. We're going to read a little bit of it, but the title is enough to drive the point home. It shows you just how ridiculous this place is. But that's Babylon the Great. And this person is, I'm going to read, I didn't read all of this article. I read a little bit of it. I kind of scanned through it. But I'm sure they're going to have some court case where they're going to be able to sue and get paid. And then this, as a gender specialist, I've seen kids as young as 3 recognize they are trans. And if any so-called gender specialist in these times is recognizing that kids as young as 3, are identifying with another sex, that is 100% because it's being pushed on them through everything they see, through the cartoons, through the TV shows that they may watch with their parents, through the things that they see when they're out and about with their parents, walking through the mall or to the store or whatever they may be going. The things that they hear on the radio and music. If that is the case, it's 100% due to the indoctrination and agenda that's being pushed out. And again, this here, women are happier without children, or a spouse, says happiness expert. And this shit just really ridiculous. So let's go back to Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 16. It says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. So Esau Edom, the so-called white man, has clearly turned this world upside down. And whenever we bring out an article or a video, it's just further evidence. You know, it's just, you know, Esau is on trial right now. He's on trial. We are the judges during this time, you know, accusing this devil for the devil he is through the scriptures. And he has left a trail of evidence in the earth. You know, whether it's physical, whether it's psychological, you know, he's left a trail of evidence on the earth. And this is what he has done. He has turned this place upside down. And it says that his turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. And it's making the analogy of when you have clay, you can mold it. You can mold it into, you know, whatever you want. And Esau, having the power, the blessing of the sword, and, you know, having pretty much conquered the world, and having Israelites, Israel, true Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in captivity, he had the physical power to form this world how he wanted, especially after he dropped those nuclear bombs. You know, he could have put his foot down, saying, hey, since they claim to be this Christian nation, this nation formed on Christian values, they could have really set that standard. Like, hey, we're going to be a country that follows the law of the Bible. We're going to follow the law of the Most High. They could have formed the world that way, but that's not what they did. They formed it in wickedness. They had the power to do so. You know, one of the brothers at camp, he always says that. He says, you know, if Esau would had made everybody face even right now, if Esau said, you know, everybody in the world face the east and we praying, you know, the whole world would do it, because the whole world rocks to the tune of Esau's beat, specifically, you know, America, Babylon the Great. But again, Esau was created to be the wicked, and the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And it's using it's going back to the analogy of the potter's clay. You can form it, you can mold it, but once it's finished, once that heat is on it, it is what it is. Whatever fashion you made it, whatever shape you made it into, however small, narrow, or wide, however messed up you made it, that's what it is. And that's why I'm saying, for sure, the work say of him that made it, he made me not. So this is your work. This whole, you know, feminism ideology with women feeling as if they don't need a man, that's the work of Esau Edom. You know, people disregarding the natural creation that the Most High worked as far as making man and woman. Now you want to go binary, some shit that don't even exist. It's just totally disregarding the Most High. You want to come up with your own thing. That's the work you made. Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding. And we know you got understanding. You've been given that illumination. You got so much understanding. You've indoctrinated the people with this type of thought, along with other types of ideas. Again, this is just a few. So let's read this again. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Well, you obviously had the understanding, and you obviously made it this way. So let's look up this word esteemed.
Psalms H 28:03. Chashav.
Chashav. And what does it say? To think, plan, esteem, calculate, invent, make a judgment, imagine, count. I mean, who the hell was thinking about non-binary even 100 years ago? And I'm just being gracious. I'm being gracious. Who invented that? Who invented non-binary? I think the first time I heard that was maybe 2 years ago. Some so-called celebrity, I don't remember who they were, and they were, I guess, being interviewed saying that they were non-binary, and they had this proud smile like, oh, this is trendy. And that's what people think. This shit is trendy. This shit is cool. You know, they're just going along with the times. You know, they're futuristic in their thought process. That's the way they feel. I'm non-binary. Or a woman doesn't need a man or a child. That was considered a curse. To be barren, to not have a child, that was a curse. And you know, Esau put these things out here. Esau is the wicked. You know, they gonna do what they do. But no other nation is like that. No other nation on earth is like that. You may find individuals within that nation, and that's because they've been Americanized. But no other nation is like that except Esau and fucking Jake. You so-called Negroes and you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Esau pushes this shit out, and you gravitate to it. You gravitate to it. You make discussion boards about it, because that's actually how I found the article on. Well, the article was posted on. We'll get to it. I'll explain it when I get to it. I don't want to lose track. So again, what's the definition? To think, plan, esteem, calculate, invent, make a judgment, imagine, count. To think, count, to plan, devise, mean, to charge, impute, reckon, to esteem, value, regard. All right. I mean, so you get the point. So let's go back to this first article. So this first article, women are happier without children, or a spouse, says happiness expert. So this is what I originally saw, and this was I guess a post taken from Instagram, but it was on Yahoo News. They used that post to make an article about this specific article here. Women are happier without children, or a spouse, says happiness expert. And this article, I guess, was done in 2019. But again, they recycled this article because I guess enough people didn't see it then, so they recycled it. And guess who is pushing it out? Eve is always going right along with the damn devil. Same thing that took place in the garden. And you know, it's going to be revealed in due time. The Most High is going to reveal to Eve just how wicked she's been. She's had just as much of a hand in keeping Jake down than Esau has. This is Esau's kingdom, and this is Eve's kingdom too. All you hear about strong black woman, strong black woman, strong black woman. You don't hear anything about the law, statutes, or commandments. Whatever Esau pushes out, Eve goes right along with it. Even though they might put Eve in the forefront to cry, you know, to play on the strings of your heart, you know, when a so-called Israelite man might be shot or wrongly accused. Just use Black Lives Matter for an example. I always go back to them. They use these group of women to seem as if, you know, they're pleading for the cause of the so-called Israelite community, but really they totally against the man. They don't want the nuclear home. They want everything to be all inclusive. And you know what all inclusive mean? Homosexuals, trans, all that shit. It's totally against the man. But anyway, I don't want to rant too much. So this was the article again. They made an article out of a post from somebody's Instagram post. And this is what it was. So I actually pulled up the article to read it for myself. And I got that in the next tab. But I wanted to go through some of these comments. So this is the article again. Health and well-being. Women are happier without children. Or a spouse says happiness expert. And I guess this is the person who posted it. Really Annie. So clinically speaking, marriage and children benefit men more than women. Women live shorter lives and men live longer. Y'all know how I like to bring facts and research to the table. And it just goes to show you the ignorance of Eve. You know, Eve happens to come across some article or some TV show or some song or something that fits her already distorted perception of how things should be, and she goes along with it full steam ahead. Because you know, research actually shows that, you know, first of all, men don't live as long as women in general in any, you know, culture. It's not always, but it's pretty much, you know, more likely that the woman will outlive the man. And same goes for, you know, those who are married. And you just think about women who have never had kids and never had a husband, and in their old age they are fucking deranged. And that's what any young woman thinking like this is already deranged and headed down that path. But you know, thankfully we won't be in this world soon. And I'm not really getting on the women, so to speak. I'm using this as a backdrop for you men to see what the hell is going on. See how your women really feel about you, and how gone they are. So clinically speaking, marriage and children benefit men more than women. Women live shorter lives and men live longer. Y'all know how I like to bring facts and research to the table. And I guess by facts, this woman means reposting a picture of an article she read. That's her facts and research. So let's go through some of the comments. I'm just gonna go through all of them. It ain't a lot of them. Someone send this to the manosphere, and I guess this person is being sarcastic by saying send this to the world of men so we get it. And then you got this person here. I'm 47, about to be 48, never had children, never had a husband. I can wholeheartedly tell you this is true. Other than conditioning, I do not know why women are thirsty to enter into that bondage. So it's thirsty for a woman to want a man. And again, this is that whole psychological psyop that has been taking place on what they call black culture and Israelite culture and all. Mainly the whole dynamic between men and women in America it makes me mad. It makes a person upset, but it's really nothing to be too upset about, because this all goes to the agenda of the wicked elite. It is to divide the man and the woman. It's just the woman is stupid enough to fall for this shit, and it pisses you off. And it really pisses you off as an Israelite man to see your women gravitate to it, because no other nation on this earth treats their man or looks at their man the way that Eve looks at their men. No other nation. And when you see it with Esau, these so-called Edomites, those are straight up feminists that hate men. That's one thing. But their women don't typically have that same demeanor or that same perspective of their men, as far as they trash, they nothing, they low. But Eve really hates Jake. She really hates you, notwithstanding all the shit that we've gone through. You know, we were not created this way. This system has dealt with us so harshly, you know, messed us up mentally on such a deep level that most Jake it's just destroyed. You know, even the ones that have a little money, they don't know what's going on. But Eve would not hesitate to take any opportunity to throw a jab at Jake. When I say Jake, that's you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You thirsty to want an Israelite man, because she's referring to Israelite men. Again, no other nation downs their men, none. But again, it's not to get on the women. It's just to show you men. This is just a backdrop to show you how low the Most High brought you down. We always make this point. You know, we were like a woman to the Most High. We went whoring after other gods. The same way we look at our women and we see them and it frustrates us. That's how the Most High felt. But way, way more angrier and way more justified in his anger, because he took care of us. Let me read this again. I do not understand why women are thirsty to entertain that bondage they call marriage and institution for a reason. When I was younger, I saw friends get married and divorced. I have seen my friends be single mothers, and it looked like too much work for me. Hats off to them, but I know I would not have been able to be half as good as they were at raising children. Know thyself. And this is just some woman as if she got some profound knowledge. Now I'm gonna try to read through the articles, but we're gonna see what the scriptures have to say about all this. And again, just going back to the divorce, even as fucked up as the relationship dynamic between, you know, Israelite men and women, you know, as messed up as it is, men don't typically file for divorce. It's always the women. I can't say always, so like I can't say always as in 100% of the time, but statistics will show you more often than not it is the woman that is filing for divorce. Even the man, when he ain't really happy, you know, he just gonna do his own thing. He ain't necessarily filing for divorce. When women, on the other hand, they're filing for divorce, and it's because they're already entertaining somebody. And we have to explain this all the time. This world is just so messed up. This world is just so messed up. Men are supposed to have more than one woman. You know, a man does not commit adultery unless he is sleeping with another man's woman. A woman commits adultery as she has a man and she is sleeping around with anybody else. That's adultery. But this society again has told men you can't have more than one woman. If you are, you're a dog. And you need to accept the woman that has 3 or 4 kids and been around the block a little bit. And they tell the women, you need to go play the field. Don't settle down for anybody. Let's read this next one. I think the point she's trying to make is that women enrich men's lives just by being in them, and that men should give women more respect and treat them like they matter, because they do matter. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that statement. A big problem with dating nowadays is that men just don't value women or their contributions to a traditional household in which one person makes the money and the other person allocates those resources in strategic ways to ensure comfort and happiness for the family. All right, now that's a bunch of mumbo jumbo, because what is the traditional household? Because there's no man that does not want a traditional woman in a traditional household. Now, this society has built up the woman as far as you know, job goes, and the power to make all the money. You know, the breadwinner. I was at a lack of words. Yeah, this society has built up the woman, especially Eve, to be the breadwinner. You know, Eve has the highest education. She's the most educated or indoctrinated because the wisdom of this world is foolishness. And that's what Eve believes. She believes that she got her college degrees and she's smart. She's smarter than everybody else. She can do what she want to do. She knows what she's doing. and you just falling right into the hands of Esau Edom. But let me read that again. A big problem with dating nowadays is that men just don't value women or their contributions to a traditional household in which one person makes the money and the other person allocates those resources in strategic ways to ensure comfort and happiness. Now that's vague. Yeah, and I think this person is just being misleading with trying to sound intelligent. Because again, no man is against the traditional home. Now, in the sense that one person works, and the woman's supposed to stay at home and take care of the family. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. But when you're saying allocating resources in strategic ways to ensure comfort and happiness, that makes it seem like there's nothing. I didn't hear anything about taking care of the household. That's more like a man taking care of a woman and just giving her money to do what she want to do so she can be comfortable. And again, that's where that lack of wisdom that women have as far as their own value. That's not value, and that's not feminism. That's not the true femininity that a natural woman possesses. Men these days simply do not value traditional feminine roles, even though all signs and science prove time and again that they should. She may be also reminding women to know their value and not let ungrateful people convince them that their contribution is meaningless, or that a woman who fills a traditional feminine role is not worthy of respect or fair treatment. And again, that's just bullshit, because no man devalues a true woman in that feminine role. But you don't have that feminine role. Even the women in these days who believe they are feminine, they have been somewhat indoctrinated in that psychological role reversal. You have extremes. You got the ones who want to full out be men, and you got some who are more docile and submissive. But somewhere in them, there's still that spirit of rebellion, that spirit of I can do it on my own. Anyway, I'm just reading through some of these. Alright, let me see what this one says. People don't realize how hard and demanding motherhood is, let alone keeping up a stable relationship while being a mom. No one needs to rush marriage and kids. I see my sister childless and single and happy, and I'd be like, damn, if I could just get an hour alone to myself. And that's Eve's problem. She can't be at home with a man. To her, it's keeping up a relationship. There's nothing to keep up. You have a man, that should be your focus. But the contention comes about because you're looking at others. They're looking at others. She's looking at her sister be single, childless, and happy, and now she's looking at her man like he's holding her back, or he needs to do something to make her feel more excited or more valued or something. And again, there's nothing wrong with showing your woman attention, taking your woman out, letting her know she's beautiful, y'all spending some time together. But you can see what I'm talking about, because Eve gets bored fast. She can't, this world has excited her so much, she doesn't understand what true happiness is. Here it is. If you have a relationship, you have a child, you have a man, you have a home, that should be your only focus. Whatever's going on out in the world, whatever your sister's doing, again, you should be able to see it. I ain't gonna speak too much into it. A lot of this stuff don't need explaining. Is there anything else? Alright, I'm not gonna read all this. And I think this is the person here. More posts from Really Annie. And what do you see? First picture got her ass all out. This is the woman that makes the post like that, got her ass out. That's what you see. Full of vanity. People should be lovers of themselves. I guess this is her too, in her little cat jumpsuit. Eve is gone, man. But you see Eve hop right on this shit. Alright, so this is the actual article. It says women are happier without children or a spouse, says happiness expert. Behavioral scientist Paul Dolan says traditional markers of success no longer apply. And again, this is from theguardian.com, and this is 2 years ago. So let's see what they have to say. I don't think I'm gonna read all of this, but we'll see. we may have speculated it already, but now the science backs it up. And again, nobody ever suspected this. This is something Esau pushes out, and to see who bites on it. They push out a whole bunch of different things. It's called social engineering. But Eve likes this type of shit, so they push it out, and she'll get it. She'll latch on to it. Now her thought process is changing, is conforming to whatever agenda this is supposed to push out. And you know who she brings that home to? She brings that home to her man, or whatever man she's dealing with. And then when that doesn't work out, she brings that along to the next man. And that dynamic it's a revolving door. It goes on and on and on. It's the same concept of Eve bringing the damn apple back to Adam. Because it wasn't a literal apple, and it wasn't a literal serpent. It's the same thing. Eve picks up this type of shit and brings it home. We may have suspected it already. Now the science backs it up. The science. Here we go. Unmarried and childless women are the happiest subgroup in the population, and they are more likely to live longer than their married and child-rearing peers, according to a leading expert in happiness. Speaking at the Hay Festival on Saturday, Paul Dolan, a professor of behavioral science at the London School of Economics, said the latest evidence showed that the traditional markers used to measure success did not correlate with happiness, particularly marriage and raising children. We do have some good longitudinal data following the same people over time, but I am going to do a massive disservice to that science and just say, if you're a man, you should probably get married. If you're a woman, don't bother. And that's further pushing that agenda for men to be simps and to women to be dismissive of men. So, these women are already haughty. They already feel like they can get any man they want, and in a sense they can, and it's just because men want to have sex. It's just plain and simple. But the way men and women feel about marriage is totally different. Women like the idea of being married. Women like the idea. Men, when they're looking to marry, they're looking at this as the partner. This is my partner. This is my lifelong partner. They look at it totally different. All right, men benefited from marriage because they calmed down, he said. You take less risk, you earn more money at work, and you live a little longer. She, on the other hand, has to put up with that and dies sooner than if she never married. The healthiest and happiest population subgroup are women who never married or had children, he said. Now, if you're paying attention, I don't even know if I'm going to read all of this, because I think you get the point. If you're paying attention, he's using very blunt and harsh words. He's wording it as if it's like some type of scientific data, but he's making it very plain so Eve could pick up on it. I mean, other women too, but this is for Eve, because that's who hopped right on it. Dolan's latest book, Happy Ever After, cites evidence from the American Time U.S. survey, which compared levels of pleasure and misery in unmarried, married, divorced, separate, and widow individuals. And again, who are these surveys for? Because we all know that marriage itself among so-called Jake is not that high. And then of those who get married, again, they end up, a lot of them, I would say over half of them get divorced. And the majority of the time it's the woman filing for divorce. And who is doing these surveys? Esau comes out with these surveys, or we follow this group said this. It's just bullshit. Other studies have measured some financial and health benefits in being married for both men and women on average. Yeah, I think, I'm not going to read all this because it's bullshit. Like I said, the title speaks for itself. I mean, if you're interested in this, you can read it. Women are happier without children. A spouse says, Salakia, women are happier without children, or a spouse says happiness expert. And it's from The Guardian. And I'm not going to go through this, but I did, just to make sure I knew what I was talking about. I just did a little research on it. And obviously, married people live longer than the single. And women, whether married or unmarried, live longer than men. But the married women live longer than the unmarried. And again, older women who have never had children, never been married, never had any children. I think I said never had children. Who have never been married and never had any children. I mean, they typically crazy. They bugged out of their damn mind. But, just keep all that in mind, because we're going to filter all of this through the scriptures. Alright, so this one is, as a gender specialist, I've seen kids as young as 3 recognize they are trans. And this, I don't know if I'm going to read all of this either. Research has shown children as young as 3 can identify their gender. In my experience, children know who they are and need adults to support them. Trans and gender non-conforming children are just as confident as, I guess, what is this? Cisgender children. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it, but it's all good. Whenever I discuss working as a gender specialist with trans youth, the question I'm asked is, but aren't they too young to know? My short answer is no. I've studied child gender identity development, read the theories, and combed through studies, but the confirmation I've gotten has been in witnessing the embodied joy and authenticity of trans children. I've seen kids as young as 3 years old know what their gender is and how they identify. This is supported in the research, but so often adults are afraid and are more comfortable believing that children are too young to know. Parents, in a desire for certainty, prefer to believe that doctors got it right. And again, I'm not going to read all of this because the title speaks for itself. It's ridiculous. Nobody needs to read this shit in order to get some understanding. I'm just reading it to show you just how ridiculous it is. And then this one. Arizona mom slams Delta for lack of gender options for her non-binary child. Let's read a little bit of this. A mother from Arizona is calling out Delta Airlines after she said she could not buy a plane ticket for her non-binary child due to the airline's lack of gender options during the booking process. This is American society. This is Babylon the Great. This is the shit your kids gotta learn in school these days. This is the shit you gotta deal with at jobs. And who's pushing this? Esau. This is mainly, these Edomite women pushing these things out there, but it's all Esau. It's all the wicked elite, really. This is nothing new. These words are new, but feminism goes back to the Illuminati. Goes back to Frances Wright. One of the female. She wasn't a member of the actual original Illuminati. It was Frances Wright, and there was another woman. I can't think of her name. In a Twitter thread Thursday, Dawn Henry, 52, said she was trying to buy a surprise plane ticket for her adult child adult child when she discovered Delta only provides male and female gender options. So this lady is 52 years old trying to buy a plane ticket for her adult child, and her grown ass is upset because there's only male and female option. Henry's 21-year-old child is non-binary, meaning they identify as neither exclusively male nor female, and they have an X gender marker on their birth certificate and Washington State driver's license. Now, I didn't even know they was doing that on birth certificates now. This incident comes 3 years after Delta and other major U.S. airlines announced they would update their booking tools to be inclusive of non-binary passengers. At least 2 of those other airlines, American and United, already provide a drop-down menu during the booking process that is inclusive of non-binary travelers. I'm not gonna read all this. This shit is just so ridiculous. Esau has turned this world upside down. I think it was something in this expert thing I wanted to get. I think he made a comment. It was mainly dealing with women playing the field, and I wanted to get some scriptures on that. Let me see. Let me start at this paragraph here. However, Dolan said men showed more health benefits from tying the knot as they took fewer risks. Women's health was mostly unaffected by marriage, with middle-aged married women even being at higher risk of physical and mental conditions than their single counterparts. Man, they pushing this shit heavy. It don't even sound scientific. It just they used to make it sound scientific where it could be somewhat believable, but now it just sounds like a bunch of bullshit they just pushing out. Despite the benefits of a single childless lifestyle for women, Dolan said that the existing narrative that marriage and children were signs of success meant that the stigma could lead some single women to feel unhappy. So the stigma led them to feel unhappy. You see a single woman of 40 who has never had children. Bless, that's a shame, isn't it? Maybe one day you'll meet the right guy and that'll change. No, maybe she'll meet the wrong guy and that'll change. Maybe she'll meet a guy who makes her less happy and healthy and die sooner. And Eve eat this shit up. This article was amended on 30 May 2019 to remove remarks by Paul Dolan that contain a misunderstanding of an aspect of the American Time Youth Survey data. Well, I don't know what part they amended, but we have a small favor to ask. We'd like to thank you for putting your trust in. Is this the amendment here? I guess this was the amendment. Alright, I thought it was something in here. I think what I did was I pulled up another article pretty much stating the same thing, that that women are happier unmarried, and it was pretty much because they get to play the field. But anyway, we seen the articles. Let's just go to some scriptures. So let's go to, this is 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 14. Now the point is in 14. I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. So let me start back up top just to get some context. I'm gonna start at 1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren, the elder women as mothers, the younger as sisters, with all purity. Honor widows that are widows indeed. But if any widow have children or nephews, let them learn first to show pity at home and to requite their parents, for that is good and acceptable before the Most High. So the apostles the apostle is pretty much explaining, dealing with, widows pretty much becoming like nuns. And he's just giving examples. If you're a widow, and you got nieces and nephews, or you got kids, first show pity at home before you come into, that office. Verse 5, now she that is a widow indeed and desolate trusteth in the Most High, and continueth in supplications and prayer night and day. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. And that goes back to that article about, women being single. A woman is supposed to have a man, and it's supposed to be a blessing for a woman to, have a child. Being single, unmarried, childless, and just living life being happy. What does it say? But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. And that means she's spiritually dead. She has no understanding. She don't have any idea of the things that's coming, first and foremost. Verse 7, and these things give in charge, that they may be blameless. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith, and is worse than an infidel. I'm just reading this to get some context. Let not a widow be taken into the number under 60 years old, having been the wife of only man. That's saying, don't let a woman that's a widow under 30, come into that office. Because if she's under 30, she's still gonna have womanly lust at some point. That doesn't go away until older, they're older in age. Verse 10, well reported of for good works, if she have brought up children, if she have lodged strangers, if she have washed the saints' feet, if she have relieved the afflicted, if she have diligently followed every good work. But the younger widows refuse, for when they have begun to wax wanton against Hamashiach, they will marry. And it's saying again, those who were younger and they've lost, husbands, don't let them come in, because after a period of time, they're going to become undisciplined. That's what wanton means, undisciplined. And they're going to start, feeling that lust, because they're women. Having damnation, because they have cast off their first faith. And withal, they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers also, and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. You see, that wisdom, that wisdom was given to the men of the Lord, to have the understanding of the scriptures. And that's what we're doing in these end times. Yeah, it's true. We all been gone, man. We all been polluted with the workings of Babylon the Great. But now that the Most High has poured His Spirit on us and we got the truth, we understand. We're coming back to the ways of the Most High. We're coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments. We're trying to live, as best we can. And we're showing our people their transgressions. We're showing our people their sins. And we're pointing out all the wicked devices that Esau had, all his crafty devices. This is plain and simple. Let me read 13 and then go into 14 again. 13 and 14. And withal, they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, from dick to dick, and not only idle, but tattlers, also in busybodies, just gossiping. That's why women, like watching Real Housewives of Atlanta and all these other stupid ass reality TV shows. And that's why they on Instagram or all these celebrity accounts. That's how they know everything that's going on with everybody. Just busybodies, all in everybody else's business. Not keeping their eyes focused on their own relationship, their own home. And I ain't giving no relationship advice. I'm just showing the way this world is compared to what the scriptures saying things should be. And again, we've all been polluted with Babylon the Great. We're coming back to this now, so we're trying to let you know, trying to show you. Verse 14, I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. And let's go to 1 Timothy 5. Salaki, 1 Timothy chapter 2. We're just in 5. There's a reason the woman should be bearing children. So there's a reason why a woman should want children. First of all, it's natural. Again, women would feel cursed if they weren't able to have kids. Now, these women don't want kids. And the reason they don't want it is because they don't want to be held down or burdened down. They want to be free to do what they want to do. That's just undisciplined. And it really go back to rebellion. So this is 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Now verse 14. Now Slakia, verse 13. No, you know what? We're going to start at 11. So this is 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. And that goes back to those women, on the comments. And women can make comments, but you notice they speak as if they have authority and they have wisdom and they have foresight. But you can see that they don't have any. They don't have any. They're just gobbling up the garbage that Esau is feeding them. One is because they're already seeking stuff. They naturally seek to that. Again, it's no different than Eve bringing that bullshit that she learned from the serpent spirit, back to Adam. So let me start back, verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. And that's a big thing with Eve now, because in this call, it's all according to the will of the Most High. He said He's going to create a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man, and that's just part of our punishment. They're just one of the things we got to deal with in these last times. Looking at our women be over us, act a damn fool, and just show us no respect at all. But it's all good. It's not good. It's all good because it's all good in the sense that we know these things have to be. We know why they exist. We realize that it exists. We know why it exists, and we know it's not going to be like this forever. We know there's an end to this. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. The point is in verse 15. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. That is a woman's saving grace, being able to bear children. Why? There's a reason that's the saving grace of woman. I wanted to make another point here about women usurping authority over men. Now Esau, he has given the woman, but especially Eve, authority over her man. That's why they got these housing programs where the woman gets help, but she got to kick the man out the house, or child support, or whatever. They have that authority because a woman will threaten you with child support, or threaten you, or use the children to try to manipulate you. See, Esau has given Eve all little types of tactics to be wicked and try to usurp authority over the man. And when you bring the scriptures to the woman, it's hard for them to receive it because they don't want to relinquish that authority. And again, it all goes back to rebellion. We have to come under the authority of Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai. We have to come back under authority. We have to bring all our thoughts into the captivity of Yahweh Shai. We have to be in order, but Eve don't want to be in order. But verse 15 again, and then we're going to go to Ecclesiastes. This is verse 15. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. So again, childbearing is the woman's saving grace, because if the woman, if her use was not to bear children, it wouldn't be any use for her, because the scriptures tell you the woman is wicked above all wickedness. Let's go to this is Ecclesiastes chapter 25 verse 24. This is why childbearing is a woman's saving grace. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. I mean, that's pretty heavy. You will never get Eve. First of all, women don't accept accountability. I don't ever hear a woman saying anything about, it. I don't ever hear a woman saying this verse, because of us, came the beginning of sin, and through us, we all die. Women don't say stuff like that. They blame the man for every damn thing. They take no responsibility. Verse 25 says, "Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad." I want to look up this word gad abroad. We're going to look up gad abroad, but let me just read 19. "All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman, that the portion of a sinner fall upon her." That says all wickedness is but little wickedness to the wickedness of a woman. Oh boy. So let's look up gad abroad, or just look up gad. I got it pulled up. What does gad mean? Go around from place, go around from one place to another in the pursuit of pleasure or entertainment. And that's all that's pushing, man. It's pushing more whoredom. If you just look at the basics, it's pushing more whoredom. Let's be honest. But you can't be honest. You can't be honest in this society. You can't be honest in this world. And women don't want to accept honesty or accountability. It's just pushing more whoredom. I just wanted to pull up that definition. So again, verse 19, "All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman, let the portion of a sinner fall upon her." Verse 24, "Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die." Verse 25, "Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad." This is Ecclesiastes 26 and verse 10. "If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty." Again, a woman is supposed to have a man, marry a man, be faithful. That should be without question, and bear children. But women want liberty, and they abuse themselves. They abuse themselves, spiritually. But they don't see that. But again, this ain't really to get on the women. It's for you men to see it. Also, you have to be careful, because these are the types of women that you're dealing with out here. These women are gone, man. Don't let these pretty faces and these fat asses and perky breasts fool you, man. Also, there's another verse in here. Oh, right here. Because I was just thinking about these women and their looks. And I was going to say, don't let them fool you. And I started thinking about the eyelashes. In verse 9, "The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids." That's the eyelashes. And I don't know what the hell is going on today with these eyelashes. These 3-inch long, thick ass eyelashes. That shit is not cute. It's not cute. But you see how simple-minded Eve is. You see these ghetto ass celebrities with these thick ass eyelashes on TV, and you might see a you know, because I don't really watch a lot of TV. I might be scrolling through a news article and there's celebrities in the news for so and so. Depending on what the title is, I might click on it, and you see the pictures, and they got these thick ass eyelashes. You see it on them, and you just think, okay, they celebrities. They just being eccentric, even though the shit's still stupid and wicked. But you know, you go to the store, you might go through the drive-through, and then the person taking your money got thick ass eyelashes too. You go to the gas station, you coming out, another chick coming out, and she got these thick ass eyelashes. Like you driving down the road, and this happened, you know, yesterday. Matter of fact, we riding down the road, me and my girl, we riding down the road to get something to eat, you know, and I look to the left, and I've already made this comment to her before, like, what the hell is up with these eyelashes? And I look to the left, and there's a car on the side of me, and lo and behold, her windows were tinted, but you could see how thick her damn eyelashes were. And I mean, I don't even know what that shit is, man. But hey, what the scripture say? The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. Hey, if thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. And again, like I was mentioning before, that really just goes back to rebellion. These women are rebellious, man. That's really all it comes down to. They don't want to get in line. They don't want to get in order. They don't want to fall under somebody. They want to do what they want to do. Esau Edom has told them they can do what they want to do, and damn it, they gonna do what they want to do. That's all what it boiled down to. Esau Edom said Eve can do what she wanted to, and I be damned if Eve is not gonna do what she want to. She don't care what she don't care about you. If she'll talk shit about you. And then, you know, the men that try to, we ain't preaching to try to get women. We preaching to Israel because we fear the Most High. Again, I'm just using this as a backdrop. I really like to, you know, speak to men. I might speak about women, but it's to, you know, give a backdrop for men to understand and see, because men see a lot of these things in women and it frustrates them. They just don't understand why it is. They don't understand why it's so. And when you show them things in the scripture, they can easily identify with them, like, yeah, it is. But then also, you know, the things that apply to women, you gotta look at your own self too and do some self-reflecting, because we all went off. Again, the way our women are, this is just a punishment in, you know, that parallels our relationship with the Most High. But let me go to 1 Samuel. This is 1 Samuel chapter 15 verse 23, and this is dealing with Saul. King Saul, he was supposed to go slay all the Amalekites, but he kept the king. So let's start at verse 22. I'm just gonna get straight to the point. The Most High told him to kill all of the Amalekites, which are Edomites. He didn't slay all of them, you know. He's supposed to kill all the men, women, children, all the cattle, all the sheep, everything, anything Amalekite related. He's supposed to slay it, but he didn't. You know, he kept the king, kept the choice cattle and flock. All right, so let's just start at verse 22. And Samuel said, "Hath Yahweh as great delight in?" Let me see. Let me start at 19. So this is 1 Samuel chapter 15 verse 19. Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of Yahweh, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of Yahweh? And what was that evil? Not obeying his word. Verse 20. And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of Yahweh, and have gone the way which Yahweh sent me, and have brought Agag the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took the spoil, sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto Yahweh thy power in Gilgal. So he was saying, you know, I did what you said, but you know, we kept the chief things, we kept the good oxen and sheep, and we brought back the king. You know, and we brought back all these things to make a sacrifice and a burnt offering to you. But that ain't what the Most High told him. The Most High said, kill everything. So verse 22. And Samuel said, have Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahweh? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, to hearken than the fat of rams. So the Most High wants people to fear him and obey him. Obey his word. His word is not grievous. Obey his word. Now we still got to deal with the flesh. You know, that's the battle. But to downright, you know, deny the word as if it don't exist, that's rebellion. Verse 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, he hath also rejected thee from being king. Now, these scriptures are very important. So, you know, we read, you know, 1 Timothy chapter 5, 1 Timothy chapter 2, showing you, hey, this is the way it's supposed to be. A woman's supposed to have a man. A woman's supposed to, you know, want children. And for various reasons, it keeps the woman from abusing herself. The woman is supposed to come under the authority of the man. It's supposed to be Yahweh, Yahushua, the man, the woman, and then the children. That's the order it's supposed to be. But women don't want to do that, and they don't even want to hear it. That's rebellion. And for rebellion, it is as the sin of witchcraft. And it's no coincidence that it uses witchcraft, because these women are rebellion. And Jake, you know, these women, they are into witchcraft. Some of them are just outright witches, and a lot of them just, you know, follow along with it, but they're all into it. I did a lesson a few weeks ago. You know, I was just scrolling through my feed on YouTube. No, actually, I was looking for one of the apostles videos, and I typed in high priest, and then all these videos with high priestess came up. So I clicked on them, to see what it was about. And it was, you know, card readers, but it wasn't the video of the card reader that really caught my attention. It was the amount of people in the comments that caught my attention, saying God bless you, or you really opened up my eyes. White Jesus, not saying white, but Jesus is really working through you. I'm like, what the hell? That's witchcraft. What surprised me was not the people who made the video, it was the people in the comments. So many people, and it's like, damn, you have no idea how many people are into witchcraft. Just walking about, they thinking they're normal people, but they are heavy into this. It's as the sin of witchcraft. And one woman made a comment, she was like, I don't know, she was just like, I just appreciate the collective. And she was talking about the mind. I can't remember the exact comment, but basically the gist of her comment was the collective minds of everybody on the comment board. And it was more than one video. I just pulled out a few comments on on two videos. It was more than, you know, it was a lot of videos, but I pulled out some comments or highlighted some comments on two specific videos. But one person that made a comment she was mentioning the collective thought process, and I highlighted that comment because that's exactly the point that drew me, that there's a collective thought process going on with all these people on these comment boards, you know, thinking these people are some type of light bearers or prophets or prophetess or really high priestesses. Like, man, this fucking world gotta go, bro. This world has got to go. Yeah, man, so I just wanted to get that point. This is Isaiah 4:1. Actually, let me get Isaiah 32. This is Isaiah 32. It was I'm gonna come back here. I wanted to get this point here. This is Isaiah chapter 32 verse 9. It says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. So the Most High is speaking to the women of Israel, because you're at ease in this world. You know, you have these, the government, this system basically takes care of you. It lifts you up and it pushes you out in the front, and it tells you that you're strong, you're smart, and you can do whatever you want to do. And you're comfortable here. Verse 10, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vines. And that lament for the teats is going back to, it's really going into what is, how do you say it, all these government assistance programs. Whether it's, you might not see it as such, but even getting hired, they cater to black women getting hired. Even though you come on there with your attitudes and your neck popping, they cater to you getting hired. They cater to you getting education. They cater to you, you know, getting promoted. You know, and I'm just mentioning that because we all know about child support. We all know about food stamps. We all know about housing, you know, and Section 8 and WIC. You know, those are government programs that we talk about a lot, but this system really caters to you. But you're going to be lamenting for those teats. That means tits and breasts. You're going to be lamenting for that because you're not going to get that anymore. All that, you know, all this living pleasure or living comfortably, that shit is coming to an end very, very soon. We're getting ready to enter Jacob's trouble. So I'm gonna come back here. I want to read Isaiah chapter 4. Then I'm gonna come back here. Actually, I'm here now. So this is verse 2. It says, and a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So keep that in mind. Let's go get Isaiah chapter 4. Then we're gonna come back here. So this is Isaiah chapter 4 verse 1, and it says, in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Now what that's talking about, that's talking about these days that's coming. That's talking about Jacob's trouble, because again, it's going to be hell. You women you're not going to have any protection. And the reason 7 women are going to take hold of one man, that's just saying 7 just means complete. It could be less, it could be more. It's because you're going to be looking for protection during Jacob's trouble. Your cute looks are not going to get you by. Your attitude is going to get you beat or raped. I'm just being real. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get that right quick since I mentioned that. This is Isaiah chapter 13 verse 16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. When the Most High get ready to unleash Jacob's trouble, and you already see what's going on around the world. They're already talking about opening up these prisons and letting these prisoners out. And the Apostle Gabar bring this out all the time. We got a lot of men that are in prison because of women. Whether it's child support, whether it's some lie, somebody saying they got raped, and you know that they do that shit just to try to blackmail somebody. Not saying that's the case of every single case, but most of the time it is, man. These women play this sympathy card, and they accept no accountability because this world doesn't really hold them accountable. But the Most High is. Again, this shit is finna hit. You know, ain't nobody gonna be, you know, sharing food with you just because you look good. People gonna be killing, robbing, raping, you know, torturing. It's gonna be all hell. So where we at? So when it says, and in that day 7 men shall take hold of one man, saying we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away thy approach. That's because in that same time, the Most High said, my servants will eat, but ye shall be hungry. My servants will drink, but ye shall be thirsty. You know, my servants shall be joyful, but ye shall mourn. You know why? Because we've turned back, and I say we, hopefully, I'm one of those men. We've turned back to the Most High. We're making supplications. We're begging for his mercy. We're seeking him. We're trying to turn back. We're turning back to the law, statutes, and commandments. Trying to live the best way we can according to the law, statutes, and commandments. We're turning back to the Most High. We're seeking him. We fear him. We know what's coming. And because we're seeking him early now, he's going to take care of us then, because we're building up spiritual riches in heaven. And we're building up faith now, preparing ourselves mentally for what's coming. So in that day, it's going to be 7 women trying to get hold of one man. And it ain't going to be 7 women trying to get hold of some tall ass, you know, seemingly strong man. That ain't what it is. Or it ain't going to be because the men of the Lord going to be, you know, looking so handsome and you're going to have these, you know, hearts fluttering out your eyes. No, it's going to be because of protection. The Most High is going to protect his men, and those women are going to see it, and they're going to want to be protected. Have food, you know, have that spiritual hedge around them. And you women now, the ones of you who, you know, according to the world look somewhat attractive, you ain't gonna get picked. I hate to tell you that, but it's not gonna be y'all. Y'all are not the ones that's gonna get picked. Y'all gonna be the ones destroyed. It's gonna be the humble ones that get. Let me say it like this. Well, it's all according to the will of the Most High, but we pretty much know you have received your consolation on this side. And the Most High hates pride. He hates pride. That's one of the main things he hates. Idolatry and pride. And you women are so full of pride. Like, ain't no man, I can't say 100%, but I'm almost sure there ain't no man from Israel, you know, ain't no man that's part of the elect gonna have one of them women from Real Housewives of Atlanta or any of these celebrity women. And it ain't gonna be because they not gonna be looking for that man. They just not gonna, they gonna be rejected. Then none of that shit is going to count. It's not gonna matter. You know, your looks, these fake ass looks. Oh boy. All that wearing them tight ass clothes. You ain't gonna be wearing that shit because some other man gonna see you and ravish you. Or just kill you for fun. Cause it's gonna, all hell gonna break loose. So let me read this again, then we'll go back to Isaiah 32. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Again, why? This is Isaiah chapter 32, verse 2. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. And a covert is a protection, a shelter. And again, we're going to be the living waters. Go ahead and, like I say, you women that are at ease, rise up. Now, I want to get Deuteronomy. I'm getting ready to close out. Just to bring the point with that that transgender shit. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are an abomination unto Yahweh thy power. So if you're not supposed to put on a garment, of a woman if you're a man, and you're not supposed to wear the clothing of a man if you're a woman, and it is considered an abomination, how much more so you changing your gender? How much more so that is it an abomination? We all know well, we should know homosexuality is an abomination. You know, changing genders is an abomination, and we are supposed to hate abominations. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 17. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 17, verse 26. Turn again to the Most High, and turn away from iniquity, for he will lead thee out of darkness into the light of health, and hate thou abomination vehemently. The Most High is not leading anybody out of darkness who loves abominations. You know in your spirit that shit is wicked, but because you want to be part of this society, you don't want to be conformed to the ways of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. You buck up against the word. You're supposed to hate abominations vehemently. That shit is wicked. But you know, we make ourselves a prey. We make ourselves an offender for the word. You know, we're the ones full of hate. We're the ones who just don't get it. We're the ones who are out of touch. Everybody else is trying to get along, hold hands. Matter of fact, didn't it say that? What is it? Salakia. Oh yeah, Isaiah 32. Thought I had it somewhere else. Was there, yo? Oh yeah, Isaiah 36 and 15. Going back to wanting to join hands. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So you trying to be a part of this society? Esau going down. Babylon the Great is going down. 2/3 of Israel are going down as well. You're going to be destroyed. So we already know 2/3 aren't going to get it. You know, but for those who have an ear to hear, you know, if you got the eyes to see what's going on, and you got the ears to hear, and the Most High is dealing with you, you know, this is the time. Repent. You know, come back to the ways of the Most High. The law, statutes, and commandments. We are not going to be saved by the law, statutes, and commandments. We're going to be saved through our faith and through the grace and mercy of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. It's by that grace and our faith in that. But we show our faith by trying to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our abilities, because we're trying to come out of the ways of Babylon. You know, Babylon, I'm just giving you an example. The whole point of me doing this lesson was to give you an example, because Babylon says, hey women, you're better off not being married and not having kids and being free and doing what you want to do. That's what Babylon says. Me, I come on, I read the scriptures, I say, hey brothers and sisters, Babylon is trying to deceive you by telling you you're better off if the women don't get married, don't have children, and be free. But I'm going to show you what the Most High has to say, what the scriptures say. Women should marry, women should bear children. It's their saving grace. Somebody might say, well, why? Well, because the man was not deceived. Adam was not deceived. He was born first. You know, the woman's supposed to come under subjection to him, because the Most High gives the man the wisdom to lead, and the woman is supposed to be the helpmeet, you know, to help care of the household. And let's not forget, you know, that the woman sinned, and through her, you know, all sin came and all death. Also, we got some very hard times coming ahead. You know, women gonna be ravished, their kids are gonna be dashed to pieces. You know, that's all I'm doing. Because Esau Edom is leading you to destruction. You know, we're showing you the scriptures, trying to show you the light, just like the Most High through Yahweh Shai and through the Spirit showed us. We're just trying to show it to you. Alright, so Again, we're supposed to hate abominations vehemently. And I'm gonna get Revelations and Jeremiah, because again, the whole point with this was just to show you that wine that Babylon the Great has used to make the whole world drunk. So I'm gonna start at 1. This is Revelation verse 8. This is Revelation chapter 18 verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. That wine is all the false doctrines, all the philosophies, all the, deep thoughts that, whether it's democracy, whether it's feminism, whether it's women's rights, whether it's industrialism, entrepreneur. I'm mispronouncing that word, but you know what I'm trying to say. All of that, and among other things, these are just the main ones. Let's go to, and they made the whole world drunk. So let's go to Jeremiah 51:7, and I'm gonna get some some commentary on that, because I just think that sometimes the commentary, I actually picked this habit up from Apostle Tahar. He says he goes to the commentary sometimes just to see, what Esau's saying. Sometimes they get it right, sometimes they go off, but it gives you a little bit more understanding on what's being said and what the thought process is. And I do that from time to time, and I did it on this verse, and I wanted to just to bring out some more understanding. So this is Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon, first let me start at verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Now, this is not talking about fleeing this place literally. This is talking about spiritually. Same thing I was trying to explain to you about. Babylon is trying to destroy you. It's going to lead you to destruction. We're trying to bid you back to the marriage, show you the ways, to the light, show you the way of life, because the word is life. The word is the way of life. And the Most High is getting ready to cut this place off because of his vengeance. And we're in that time. Verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Now the reason I wanted to get this commentary, because it really do bring it out good. Let's just go to it. That golden cup is just talking about, the image that America portrays, even not even just to the rest of the world, that the people who live here, who buy into it, especially Eve, you can save your money, go buy you a new car, go party with your girlfriends on the weekend, you can make money, you can do this, buy a house, that American dream type shit. It's full of poisonous doctrine. All right, so I'm gonna just read these first two up here. This is Ellicott's commentary for English readers. It says, Babylon hath been a golden cup. The golden cup points to the splendor of Babylon outwardly as a vessel made to honor, and that's what America is. It appears splendid. It appears to be, beautiful, but it's corrupted. See notes on Jeremiah 1:37. But this is the point. But the wine in that cup was poisoned, intoxicating men with wild ambitions and dark idolatries. The same image reappears in Revelation 14:8, Revelation 17:4. Say that there, the golden cup is in the hand of the harlot, whose name is Mystery Babylon. Whose name is Mystery Babylon the Great, which is America. Mystery Babylon the Great. What's going on here? Alright, I don't know why I did that, but point being, I just think that it worded it perfectly. The wine in that cup is poison, and it's intoxicating man with wild ambitions and dark idolatries. You know, that you're an independent woman, that you could be a homosexual, that you could be non-binary. Just stupid ass shit. It's stupid. But you in love with this place, and you love that sin, and that's really why the Most High gonna destroy you, because deep down, you love that shit. You know that shit wrong, but you love it and you don't want to admit it, and that's all it is. So this is Cambridge Bible for schools and colleges. I think they had a good commentary on it. Jeremiah was commanded to make the nations drink of the wine of the Most High's wrath. Babylon is here spoken of under the same figure as having made all the nations drunk, but the wine in this case, as the epithet golden suggests, denotes the influence for evil which her brilliance and luxury have upon the nations. She is called a golden cup from the splendor and glory which belonged to her as an empire. And that was another good way of saying that. You know, that wine denotes the influence for evil. But you're blinded by the brilliance. You're blinded by the bright lights, the fancy words, being cool, being accepted, fulfilling your lust, doing just the pleasure of you doing whatever you want to do, all the while not realizing you actually being controlled. That's why the scriptures say the truth shall set you free. You should know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Alright, so I didn't wait on long enough. That was really the point I wanted to bring out. So I pray that this lesson was edifying. Let me say, I'm always thankful when the Most High put the Spirit on me to bring out a lesson. So all praise Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Akakwadash. And until next time, Shalom.